haven't done anything. No. Motzi, Rabbi Leslie Alexander. It's written. It may not be stone, but it's written. This is your motzi, and I will not step on your toes. You can have the motzi wherever you like, Rabbi Alexander. Yeah. Yeah. Does that mean Ukraine and Russia are fighting? Everyone always wants to read into that as like the end of days. It's a very common. Samara. Samara.
Good evening, everybody. We are getting ready tonight for our annual meeting and all the excitement that's going to be happening at Adat Ari in the year to come. We're an amazing community, but right now we're getting ready to eat dinner, which of course is the beginning of any wonderful experience. So now, if you'll join with me in Motzi, and then anybody can come up and grab some challah if you'd like. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Let the evening begin.
I just don't like it anymore. I know you do. We're gonna be calling tables. The tables that'll go first are the tables that Rabbi Alexander prefers. So if you are called first, she likes you. If you're at the end, that means you're on the list. So be careful.
Yeah, thank you, Rabbi. And then once everybody gets some food and sits down, we'll get started with the program, and we'll move you out of here 3-4 hours tops. It's going to feel like Saturday morning. It's going to be great.
Of course, the only difference between this and Saturday morning is that Eric is here.
We've got 4 tables going, so if you didn't get called yet, don't worry, it'll be any minute now.
All right, we want to move the line along. Well, everybody wants to eat, so let's take the food. We don't need to admire. Let's just take and keep it going. That's a message from Rabbi Alexander. Thank you.
if there's anybody I didn't call to go up to get food, I hope you forgive me. I'll do tshuva for it on Yom Kippur, but feel free to help yourselves.
Yeah. All right, once everybody else takes a seat, we're going to get started. I did remove my jacket because the rabbi requested that I not be the best dressed on the staff. That is communal, the challah. If you didn't grab at the challah. Boy, think about it, Rick. Just a few years ago, we had to do this on Zoom because we wouldn't be near each other. Now we're once again all grabbing from the same piece of challah, no problem. Right? Jinxed it? Knock on. There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our board president, Adam Spiegel.
And I'm going to keep my jacket on, Rabbi. Well, my Grandpa Spiegel, who's a tie maker, would be upset that I didn't do the double Windsor knot tonight. But anyway, hello everybody. Welcome. You don't have to shush. Don't worry. There can be some background noise. So in my remarks to the congregation this time last year, I expressed my goal of helping our senior leadership navigate our community from what was a comfortable but stagnant pass over a narrow bridge to an unknown but hopefully exciting future. Prior to Rabbi Schuldenfrei's arrival, our day school had just closed. Our membership numbers were dwindling, and our campus was showing a lot of signs of aging. One of Rabbi Schuldenfrei's stated goals was to redouble the community outreach of Adat Ari, not just within our own membership, but also throughout the greater community outside of our own walls. So over this past year, within our community, we have seen an extensive increase in our adult education program. For example, Rabbi Schuldenfrei navigated the book of Exodus in a 6-month course that culminated with a presentation by his students during our Tikkun La'el Shavuot program. Rabbi Alexander led an entertaining study of the rabbis of the Talmud on Shabbat afternoons, something I hope that she'll do next year, something akin to that. And Rachel Freed taught a group of our adult members how to chant Torah. We have also instituted our Community Journeys program, last year participating in the March of the Living in Poland and Israel, and this coming fall we'll have the opportunity to visit the Southeast in the Civil Rights Journey, so please check our website for the details there. Also within our community, our teen program was brought back to life through the youth group, a camp leadership training program, a teen philanthropy program, a new CIT summer program, and Friday night Shabbat programs. Outside of our community, Rabbi Schuldenfrei smoozed up strangers at the Studio City Farmers Market with coffee, and we have established relationships with AA, Turning Point Church, and Camp Wildwood, all of whom use our campus on a regular basis. We are also in discussions with an independent minyan that would conduct their own services on our site, and of course, Citizens of the World Charter School and the related Adat Plus afternoon program are thriving during our school term. Thank you. Okay. End of page. It is truly amazing to see so many people on our campus during a regular week. And even if they are not all members today or even tomorrow, word does spread. Enrollment at our ECC is up, as is the number of our members and the amount of membership dollars coming in. Hold for pause, or pause for applause. That's what it says. So, hooray! Of course, by listing all the things that we are doing, what I'm really saying is that it's everything that Rabbi Schuldenfrei and Eric Nicastro are doing, together with the executive team of Cantor Aronoff, Rabbi Emily Holtzman, Ori Zadok, and Patrick Miller, together with Rabbi Leslie Alexander, Jessica Bieber, Liron Tal-Devere, Sarah Marcus, Mandy Pankowski, Shelby Frine, Candace Ray, Katie Belkin, and Marina and Natalie Resnick. As their synagogue president, I am so grateful for what this talented team has been able to accomplish. And I should also add that Eric and Rabbi have agreed to contract extensions, so we should be in good shape for the foreseeable future. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the board and the executive committee for all of their hard work this past year, especially Samara Lewinson, who took the lead in revamping our employee review process, Lee Mendelson for implementing a creative development strategy, Jeff Kinridge and Leah Rosenzweig for putting together a surplus budget, Hillary Oberstein for her unfailing devotion and commitment to our schools, Annette Charvit for all her work on our sanctuary refresh, which will be awesome. And also Christine Prell for doing a little and a lot of all of the above. I apologize for cutting this list short, but I've come to the end of my self-imposed 2-page limit. So I'll just say you're welcome for that. And now, just as he does following announcements on Shabbat, I invite Rabbi Schuldenfrei for a rebuttal. You want to wear my jacket? That's right.
Yeah, which state of the which annual meeting? Oh, this was the annual meeting in '99. So for those of you, no one found that funny at all. So Adam on Shabbat morning, every Shabbat morning, brings a different kippah from either the Torah portion or a relevant anniversary. So it's a fun little thing that Adam does to add spice to our service. Speaking about adding spice, I just think we would be, Rabbi Alexander led us all in Motzi. This beautiful meal was provided by Gina and her staff, and I think just a nice round of applause to Gina and Gina Eats and their staff. Gina feeds, we eat, and it's for those of you who haven't had the chance to taste Gina's delicious food. I think it's really a real nice addition to our community, along with Andres, our 2 preferred caterers. And also you could see Gina and her very kind staff with us every day at the cafe. And so it's really, really great. So thank you to Gina. One more time for the thank you. And to all, I want to begin by just talking about the prior year. But before we do that, one more time, a round of applause for our staff who are seated at that table over there. If our staff can please rise and just it's actually serendipitous. One of my oldest friends from rabbinical school, we met the first day of rabbinical school in 1996, and we've maintained our friendship. He's the senior rabbi at Temple Beth El in Bethesda, Maryland. Anyway, he was here. He had officiated a funeral, and he was just here walking around. And he said, Brian, you look really relaxed and like you're really enjoying what you're doing. And I said, I am. And one of the reasons is that I have the blessing of every day coming to work with such a competent, dedicated team of people who steer our community with creativity, with love, and with care. And that is our staff. So we are truly blessed to have such a... I'll talk more about the partnership between our lay leadership and our professional staff a little bit later, but it is somewhat fitting to go through a laundry list of accomplishments and highlights, but hopefully it will end differently. Moses sends the scouts out to reconnoiter the land, and they bring back a report about just how abundant everything is in the land, including the people who they are set to displace in the land, and the people recoil then at the task in front of them. So I fear that looking back at the prior year may make us recoil at the upcoming year, but I think as evidenced by the publicity on the table, we have a full plate in store for the coming year. Our engine is already revving up at all of the all of the wonderful programs, services. The Cantor and I had a high holiday meeting this morning, and we are already in full swing planning for next year. And so there's some really exciting things that we look forward to sharing with our community. But let's look back at the beginning of 5783. The beginning of the year, we expanded Camp Rosh Hashanah, and we also added creative new services like Rosh Hashanah Under the Stars and Kol Nidre Under the Stars. And we already added a little bit of flair to existing high holiday services with the apple-inspired oneg, where hundreds of members of our community enjoyed slices of pie during Rosh Hashanah services. You're not going to turn down free food. Immediately following the high holidays, and really under the leadership of Jess Bieber, there were 5 new chavarot formed. And as Adam mentioned, we expanded our adult ed offerings. And so I'll skip that paragraph because it was great, and Adam already told you about it. We also wanted to, as I told the board early in the year, to continue our focus on Friday night programming. And we were acutely aware that we began 2 years ago by beginning with Family Fridays, which was a for those who have kids at home oriented Friday night experience, and we wanted to offer something for a more mature members of our community. And we began Fourth Fridays under the direction of our rabbinic intern extraordinaire, Jill Gold-Wright. And on Fourth Fridays, Jill has been an incredible addition to our team. But at Fourth Fridays, we addressed issues including food insecurity, Black History Month, LGBTQ plus inclusion, anti-Semitism, and Zionism. Fourth Fridays, we also expanded Family Fridays, and this was under the leadership of Sarah Marcus and Rabbi Holtzman, to include Family Fridays to include a teen tish, which was a monthly gathering for our teenagers in the Goodman Family Youth Lounge. And that you saw that grow over the entire year. And knowing that we kind of weren't allowed to go in because the teens were hanging out was a welcome sight to this community. Last, and Adam Spiegel, where are you, Adam? You ready for this? We began the year before the high holidays with our now annual Welcome Week, which was a Wild West theme. Adam, yeehaw! Adam loved that. He gave very, exuberant yeehaws on every Shabbat morning and really never complained about it at all. And Welcome Week, despite Adam's, yeehaw challenges, was such a success that, as you could see, we're continuing that tradition under the leadership of Liron Tal-Devir and her very talented staff. We're continuing that with an adventure theme for this coming year. I also want to just mention that there was a lot of other... Oh, so you're much better at that than the yeehaw. Yeah. We're not doing a pirate theme. Get on point, would you? Abigail, kick him under the table. I wanted to also mention just briefly that we are blessed to have such wonderful programming for organizations like High Neighbors. The Cantor's concerts were tremendous. Under the leadership of Rabbi Alexander, together we observed Kristall Nacht and Tisha B'Av, and together we celebrated a revamped Hanukkah, Purim. On Passover, we had 2 Sidarim, one a community one and one a Jammies and Jeans. And then Rabbi Alexander also led a Yom HaAtzmaut celebration. It has been a full year. And what's kind of fun about the year is that you stop, you take a breath, and then we begin planning anew. So we want to continue ways of engaging our community. We recognize that we've accomplished a lot on Friday nights, and we want that to continue to grow. We also recognize that we want to expand the ways that we're giving back to the community, so that we don't think that we're not just an organization that thinks about itself, but we recognize that to be an Or LaGoyim, a light into the nations, means that we have a responsibility to provide for those beyond our walls. That's something that we're going to readdress in the coming year. We will also begin next year to look at Saturday, Shabbat, as a day, a full day of time that we can come together as a community with traditional services, pickleball, opportunities to hang out together as a community. What's that? Mahjong, and lots of other activities. So there's a lot in store for us, and I address you here not only grateful for all that the staff has accomplished, but really excited for all that we have in the future. So as we look forward to the coming year, we sit here very blessed and very fortunate. And thank you for the honor of serving as one of your rabbis. Thank you.
All right, so Adam does the announcements, and then the rabbi does the rebuttal, and I do the corrections. So it was a hoedown theme, not a Wild West theme, and that's why Yeehaw was inappropriate, and also it's not a pirate theme either, but one day we'll all get it down together. Don't worry about it. This is what's important. So this is fascinating because this is my sixth year. I'm finishing up here. And thank you, two people. Christine Perel, thank you. I am always grateful for my clapper every time I do one of these. But here's what I was going to say. I have had to give reports at this annual meeting, and especially over the last few years before Rabbi Schuldenfrei started, I had to do a tremendous amount of reporting on the programming here and what was going on. And I am grateful that our search committee that led the senior rabbi search found Rabbi Schuldenfrei, chose Rabbi Schuldenfrei, because the fact is I feel that we have a leader who is implementing the vision that I believe as a community we all were expressing during that search, and it has finally started coming to fruition. So I wanted to thank Rabbi Schuldenfrei. I wanted to make mention of a few other things. We mentioned a lot of the great programs and activities, the fact that our teen program, which was pretty much left for dead a couple years ago or a year ago, has been thriving with new programs and engagement, but also Chai Neighbors has been one of the centerpieces of engagement here at Adat Ari. They do roughly 820 programs a week. Right, Marty? Do I have that right on the amount? It's close. A little low. I mean, they do so many programs, I get 3 copies of their email every Sunday. It's incredible, but it's a testament to the people. I know Jill brought to our board a few years ago a vision for Chai Neighbors in partnership with Beth Hillel. I know Gary Spivak also very involved, a tremendous amount of people involved, and that has been a highlight. And the rabbi mentioned pickleball, and Chai Neighbors has been kind enough. We are going to be putting together some pickleball courts on the campus, and Chai Neighbors has been kind enough to help fund that project. So I wanted to thank them. I also wanted to spotlight, it was mentioned also, but our ECC and our ECC PA in particular. Our ECC just a couple of years ago was closed down, and it slowly, with our professional staff, with Ori and Mandy and Shelby, started to get rebuilt. But our PA and Tara Stern, who's over there talking, not listening to a word I'm saying, but will start to when I start thanking her, also had to get back to work on engaging families. And there was an incredible amount of engagement amongst our preschool families through the PA this year. The ECC Art Gallery, which has been one of our biggest events for the year, raised more money than at any point in the history of the Art Gallery. So the engagement there has been tremendous. Sarah Rosenstock also started as co-president this year, and will be continuing that next year with Deborah Reish, and we're excited to see as our ECC continues to grow. And in fact, at the Hasidah, which is our oldest class at the culmination, we had created an award back in 2019 in honor of Leah Rosenzweig, who was the ECCPA president for 21 years. And we wanted to honor her in a way by naming this award after her. And it's been until now, with Tara stepping out of the ECC and out of that position, that we were finally able to award it again. And so we gave her that honor this past week at the ECC culmination. So I wanted to acknowledge that in front of all of you. Rabbi Holtzman's not here because we forgot to invite her, but she also, as Sarah Marcus, did a tremendous job this year with adding some new innovations into our JLC program, things like our community dinner. It was a fantastic thing. The JLC provided dinner for all its families once a month, and what started to grow out of that when the weather was particularly nice is that families started picnicking here on Tuesday nights after JLC was done out on the field while the kids played, and then we had to fight to get our kids out of synagogue every week this year, which has not been the case. So beyond the teen programs, our JLC as well, which also continue to grow in numbers and will continue to grow next year. We're super grateful for Sarah Marcus and Rabbi Holtzman and the job that they did, along with Leah Rosenzweig in her role as PA president of the JLC. And then we'll create a PA for teens so you can continue to move up the ladder, Leah. Thank you. You'll never stop volunteering. On our facility side, first of all, I wanted to thank Patrick and his team, and Lourdes and Santiago and Alfonso, who are our regulars, amongst others who continue to keep our campus going. Adam mentioned it, and it's true. Our campus is not young. It's old, and we are met with challenges all the time. The rains this year did a number on our campus, on our plumbing, on our the sanctuary looked like the Rainforest Cafe at one point, I think, for the Schwartz bar mitzvah. It is a challenge to keep up with it, and our campus did go ignored for many years. We weren't putting the finances or the effort behind doing what needed to be done. The last couple of years we've started it. That refresh project is our community majorly investing in revamping our campus so that it can continue to thrive along with the communities that we mentioned tonight. So thank you to Annette Charvit, who has led our facilities committee and is leading the refresh with me. And she's loving the fact, I'm going to mention the chairs once. I'm not going to take a single question about it. I don't want to hear it. I'll give you a very detailed, quick thing about it. It's got Lee, I would never call on you. But I will point out one thing, and this is it. It is difficult. The rabbi mentioned going to rabbinic school, right, which was in 1996, which then I clocked that I was a freshman in high school, so I'm much younger than you. So, but also that it takes a lot of years to become a rabbi. But we engage with one chair company that calls me Pastor Eric for some reason. It takes absolutely nothing to become a pastor. You just have to want to order chairs. It's great. So we have chosen a chair. And if you show up to services in the fall, we'll show it to you. But here's the thing. You can put, it carries your books. It does. Your talit bag. If you bring any electronics from home that you're not supposed to, you can put your shoe, it'll shine your shoes for you, it'll do everything, okay? Even, you don't have to drive to shul anymore. We can be even more Shomer Shabbos. The chair will take you home and bring you back, okay? The chair does everything, but most importantly, it's comfortable. It is one of the ones that our congregants did speak out about being one of the more comfortable ones. So congratulations. We're going to have a chair. You'll see it. There's no questions about the chair. Marty, if it's a funny comment, you could talk. Even if you go food shopping before services, you could keep your grocery bag in it. Every kind of bag, okay? It's such a wonderful thing. They're huge because it carries everything you own. Okay, so the chair has been done, and we continue our refresh project. We can't take anybody in because it's all closed up in there, but it's crazy. It's totally ripped up and everything, and we're starting with the roof repairs have been going on, and then we're going to be painting and carpets and sound, and then the furniture will come in. It's going to be outstanding. It'll be like it was, but fresh. That's why it's a refresh. There you go. And I will answer there'll be an arc, the whole thing, all the questions that were asked of me this year. We're going to have all those things. The rabbi will be allowed in. It's great. Jews, non-Jews, everybody can come in. It's great. I said this at the board meeting, nobody wanted to go in that sanctuary outside of a small group until we said we're tearing up the sanctuary. Then everybody's very upset. They want to go in the sanctuary, right? Everybody wants to be in there. So we are going to continue with our refresh over the summer. High holidays should be great because we'll all get to experience it together. And that's pretty much it for our facilities. And then financially, things are okay at the synagogue. As Jeff would say, we're always on a thing, right? What is that, thin ice? We have done a tremendous job with our fundraising we've continued to do. We have also, Marina is not here, but give her a lot of credit. She and I worked with an accounting firm, and I'll give Lee credit for hooking us up with a great accounting firm. The synagogue will at some point hopefully be receiving a very large employment retention credit from the IRS, but it's the IRS, so it's supposed to come, they said, anytime within 6 months to 16 years. We'll absolutely get some money from the IRS, but it is something that will absolutely continue to help us grow. Our membership, again, went up in dollars this year. The gala that we had honoring Lena LeBeau and Becky Gittig did better than it was supposed to. Not only were we able to outraise the money we needed for our budget and to put on that event, we raised an additional $30,000 for arts and arts cultural programming for the future here at Adat Ari. And we have a new committee that's being put together that some of you have already raised your hand to be a part of that will be led by Lena. And so we are super grateful for the fact that we have been able to have our community recognize that with inflation, I will tell you, we have operated pretty conservatively and really well during this year. And things like utilities that are out of our control when gas prices go up 4 or 5 times what we've paid in the past, it is difficult to deal with. But we are grateful because our community has continued to help back us up so that we can make it through things like that and then continue to pay down debt and be profitable. So thank you, and I want to thank Jeff and Leah again, who led all of our financial stuff this year, and then Steve Lavender, who always volunteers to help out with the finance stuff. So we're grateful for everything our volunteers have done. All right, now is going to be the time. That's it for me. Now is going to be the time where we do the thing with the board. So it's great because this is like an off year. Technically, according to the bylaws, everybody's term is 2 years, but really 1 year. I don't know. Some of you were here when we wrote those bylaws, so you can explain it. So technically, the president is only president, don't get excited, for a year. And then we're supposed to ask him to serve again, and then he has to agree to it according to the bylaws for a second year. So it's a crazy way we wrote that. So in a secret ceremony in the rabbi's office, we requested of Adam Spiegel that he return as president. And Adam, after 25 minutes of arguing and some sobbing, agreed to continue for 1 more year. So thank you, Adam. So we have very few people going off of the board this year, but we would like to recognize them. Some of them are here in this room. If you're here in the room and you hear your name, please come up to the front. So people who are leaving us this year, Yochanan Kabaker. Okay, great. He left. Heather Frank. Well, she left at some point during the year, but we still recognize her. Heather, no. Rosalie Pachersky is in Italy, so she's definitely not coming here for Japan. I knew it was one of in the group. I knew it was one of the ones in World War II we weren't on the side with. So The access, yes, I know. Thank you, Jerome, former Jeopardy champion. Thank you. That's why Jerome's near the front to help correct us on the facts. Joe, who is? No, that was a Jeopardy joke. Joe Carroll Oberstein. Boy, they got the message that they're not on the board anymore. Because I know this one's not here either. Matt Selza, because I saw him earlier today, and he told me he was not going to come. And Marty Lasker, come on up to the front. It's great, and that's good because also when you've been on the board for 47 years, it's appropriate that you are the person up there. 50. Stay up here, Marty. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Rabbi's going to say some nice words, and I'm going to give you something that's wrapped.
Before we, it's difficult to be a volunteer at a synagogue. It's easy to voice your opinion. It's easy to share your thoughts, but it's much more difficult to dedicate your time and your efforts. And I just want to sort of reflect, in this past week's Torah portion, the Jews make changes, structural changes to the community. If you think about it, the book of Exodus says, as a result of the 10th plague, the slaying of the firstborn, the Levites are dedicated to, the firstborn of the Jews are dedicated to God, right? Their firstborn passed, therefore our firstborn should be dedicated in service. It's sort of a small price to pay for our freedom. But then 2 books later in the book of Numbers, God does a 180 and says, no. It's not going to be the Levite. It's not going to be the firstborn. It's going to be the Levites. The Levites displace the firstborn as those dedicated in service to God. And then when the Bible concludes and the second temple is destroyed, the Levites are then eclipsed by the rabbis. And what's interesting about the change from the Levites to the rabbis is the Levites, it's dynastic. You are a Levite because your parents were Levites. You are a Kohen because your dad was a Kohen. But then there's a switch to the rabbis where it's no longer dynastic, but it's based on dedication and it's based on merit. In other words, there's a democratization of leadership in Judaism with the birth of the rabbis. What our tradition teaches is if you want to be a leader, what you have to do is you have to live with a full heart and bring your dedication of your soul. And that is what distinguishes a leader. And I think all the people mentioned, but especially Marty Lasker up here, really exemplifies that. Someone who is of profound service to this community for many years and continues to be fully invested and fully, with every comment you make, with every vote that you abstain from, with every... How like that? You have a streak going on over there. Exactly. Not broken. But I think to all of you out there, what I appreciate most about Marty is that he's someone who shares his opinions, but the strength with which he shares his opinions is only matched by the effort that he puts in to improving our community. So Marty, thank you so much for your service to the synagogue. Yesher koach.
Don't go too far. Alan, there's no calling out, Alan. This is not Saturday morning. Okay. I did forget one thank you. Michael Rosenzweig was my roommate on March of the Living. Thank you for your sacrifice to our community. All right, we're actually going to start by calling up the people who are joining the board for the year that were not on it this past year, and then they'll be joined by everybody else. So, Tony Hertz, come on up here. Carmi Moncher, come on up. And then Deborah's not here, right, for the ECC? No, she's not. I know you. I'll call you up in a second, but you were already on the board. All right. And now we're going to start calling everybody else up. So our president, Adam Spiegel. Our first vice president, Christine Prell. Our personnel vice president, Samara Lewinson. Community relations vice president, Bob Oberstein. Religious life vice president, Bruce Adelstein. And our softball coach. Education vice president, Hillary Oberstein. Finance vice president, Jeff Kinrich. Recording secretary, Melinda Marcus. Assistant recording secretary and the chair of our nominating committee, and we're grateful for the work she does, Sue Moses. Assistant vice president of finance, Leah Rosenzweig. And our immediate past president, who is on vacation, because that's what you get to do when you're the immediate past president, Lena LeBeau. She's in Germany, right? There's a theme. She is. Kate Blumberg, board member. Ari Fife. Oh, did I skip Lee? Yeah, that's all right. Oh, weird. Hold on, I'll get to you, Lee. Becky Gittig. Facilities Vice President, Annette Charvit. Ben Hermes, board member. Board member Debbie Katz.
And Giants fan.
Board member Natalie Lembeck. Board member Natalie Siren. Men of Adat president and board member Sam Lembeck. Our other ECC co-PA president, Sarah Rosenstock. Our development VP, Lee Mendelson. You asked me too many chair questions, that's why. Joining Carmi as a trustee, Ken Samuel. Our other trustees, Steve Lavender. Trustee Jim Lesserman. Trustee Amy Zaki. And then Trustee Sherry Sherman. Trustee Adam Goldman. Trustee Jennifer Kaplan. And Trustee Judy Thomas. Rabbi? No. They're not getting installed, or they're installed forever. There you go.
Yeah. But actually, we'll invite the past presidents who've served our community to come on up as well. So Jill, Bennett, who else do we see? Ernie, of course, Ernie. I
also skipped over on my list board member Tara Stern.
Manny. Sure. Yeah, Ernie here. Sure, yeah. Okay, all of you smushed together. You gotta get in one. Yeah, come on over here. I'll be a lay leader. Ernie, come on in. Lee blinked. Okay, actually, just stay there for just 1 second. I just want to note that we are an ironic people. If you think about the ironies within the fabric of our tradition and within our faith, there are many. But perhaps the most ironic, and it's a sad irony in Judaism, is the one of Moses' life, that about Moses, our tradition proclaims that Lo Kam B'Yisrael Kamoshe Od. There will never be another leader on the same level as Moses. And yet Moses, the greatest leader of all time, sort of the paradigmatic leader, Moses fails to fulfill what is his ultimate mission, which is to relocate the people in the land of Israel. And perhaps, or for sure actually, the reason for Moses' failure is not because of Moses' own personal shortcomings, but rather that Moses didn't have partnership. And that's what we learn about in this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is when the Jews go to reconnoiter the land. And instead of investing themselves in the challenges ahead, they recoil, they take a step back, and they proclaim, we're unable. In other words, Moses offers his hand in partnership, and the people step away. And then that is what sort of destines us to spend 40 years literally wandering in the wilderness, but also spiritually wandering in a wilderness. Because goals, our dreams, our hopes, our aspirations for community are only achievable with partnership. Partnership between Moses and the people, partnership in Jewish community and any community, partnership between lay leaders and professional staff. And so my hope and prayer is that all of you here who freely dedicate your time, your energies, and your passions, that you will extend your hand in partnership to us, the professional staff. That you will do that with your passion, with your earnestness, and with your dedication to this Adat Ari community. And that in turn, I hope that we as a staff will similarly extend our hands to you. And that together, that embrace, that partnership between you and us will create a holy we. A we that will continue to allow this community to grow and to achieve new heights. And when you have that type of moment, a moment where everyone is sort of all in, that's a Shehechianu moment. It's a moment of recognizing that there is a beautiful synergy, a spiritual synergy that exists in this community, and that synergy is worth replicating, L'dor Vador, and bringing into the future. So as a board, please put your arms around one another, and Cantor, if you could lead us. And everyone stand together and put your arms around someone. And let's sing together the Shehechianu with the hopes that we can all aspire to bring this community to new heights, to continue to allow it to grow and to achieve blessing not only for those in this room, but for all people beyond its boundaries.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'achiyanu v'kimanu ve'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'achiyanu v'kimanu ve'higianu lazman hazeh.
as we're just we're going to conclude in just one moment. One of the other missteps. One of the other missteps of the Jews in the wilderness was that they failed to lead their lives with gratitude, right? It was easier to complain about what was in front of them instead of giving thanks to what they had experienced. And that's why we as Jews offer gratitude in all we do, including after we've enjoyed a beautiful meal. So we're going to conclude this evening, and maybe that's like sort of a spiritual kavanah for the future of this community. Like, instead of leading with complaints, lead with gratitude. So if we lead with gratitude, we'll continue and conclude this evening's program with Birkat HaMazon.
Okay. In the blue B'Kol Echad books, and there's extras on this table over here, we're going to do the abridged version, which is found on page 69. Okay, so turn to page 69, and please join me in Birkat HaMazon. Chaverai nevarech. יהי שם אדוני מבורך מעתה ועד עולם, ברשות חבריי, נברך שאכלנו משלו. All right, we're more than 10. Baruch Eloheinu she'achalnu mishelo, uv'tuvo chayinu, baruch u'baruch shemo, baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, mazan et ha'olam kulo, b'tuvo b'chein b'chesed u'vrachamim. ונותן לחם לכל בשר, כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו, ובטובו הגדול, תמיד לא חסר לנו, ואל יחסר לנו, מזון לעולם ועד, בעבור שמו הגדול, כי הוא אלזן ומפרנס לכל. ומיטיב לכל ומכין מזון לכל בריאותיו אשר ברא. ברוך אתה אדוני הזן את הכל. Bottom of 70. נודה לך אדוני אלוהינו על שהנחלת לאבותינו ארץ חמדה טובה ורחבה, ברית ותורה, חיים ומזון. יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד, ככתוב ואכלת ושבעת וברכת את אדוני אלוהיך על הארץ הטובה אשר נתן לך. ברוך אתה אדוני על הארץ ועל המזון. 71. ובני ירושלים עיר הקודש במהרה בימינו, ברוך אתה אדוני בונה ברחמיו ירושלים, אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המלך הטוב והמיטיב לכל, הוא היטיב ומיטיב, הוא ייטיב לנו, הוא גמלנו, הוא גומלנו, הוא יגמלנו, לעד חן וחסד ורחמים, ויזכנו לימות המשיח. 73. הרחמן יברך את אחינו בני ישראל הנתונים בצרה, ויוציאם מאפלה לאורה. הרחמן יברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הרחמן יברך את כל המסובין כאן. Page 74. ונישא ורחמי את אדוני וצדקה מאלוהי אישנו, ונמצא חן ושכל טוב בעיני אלוהים ואדם, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. ערב טוב.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Please be out in the next 12 minutes, okay? We cannot pay overtime to security. Thank you. Just kidding. Stay as long as you'd like.
trabajándole a los güeros había dinero. Yo a caballo me paseaba por los montes, ¿a qué recuerdo? Migración trae su razón para regresar y los entiendo. El sudor moja mi ropa de trabajo, el dinero que yo gano no es robado, aunque el sol ya me secó me siguen llamando mojado. Lo que es difícil para un gringo yo lo hago, si tan solo fueran como allá en mi rancho, la comida es para todos, sin fijarme les comparto. De mi viejo tengo muy gratos recuerdos, sus enseñanzas. Fui albañil, cocinero y arbolero, yo soy estándar. La vida me puso a pruebas, pero supe superarlas. A mirarme al estilo de esta gente, visto decente. Discreción es algo que me favorece, no me regrese. Ordinario para trabajar tranquilo y no me encuentre. El sudor moja mi ropa de trabajo, el dinero que yo gano no es robado, aunque el sol ya me secó me siguen llamando mojado. Lo que es difícil para un gringo yo lo hago, si tan solo fueran como allá en mi rancho, la comida es para todos, sin fijarme les comparto. A mi padre le aprendí las cosas buenas.
Llegó el verano a Starbucks, donde puedes encontrar las bebidas más deliciosas y los sabores más intensos. Si buscas escapar del calor, alejarte de las multitudes o tan solo estar un rato a solas, la aplicación de Starbucks te permite hacerlo con un simple toque.
Este Día del Padre, vas a encontrar regalos padres para papá en The Home Depot. Tan padres que le dan el poder de seguir haciendo más a papá, como una tarjeta de regalo de The Home Depot. Ya sea que le encante trabajar con madera, arreglar el jardín o hacer todo tipo de comida deliciosa para la familia. Una tarjeta de regalo de The Home Depot le da a papá el poder de elegir lo que él quiera. Padrísimo. Lleva la tarjeta de regalo perfecta para papá hoy mismo en The Home Depot. Haces más, logras más.
Y esto es pura fuerza rígida, chiquitita. Yo sé muy bien que hoy, igual como hace una, ella lo hacía conmigo. Me voy a aconsejar, más amable, pero se dispersa decirle unas palabras. No quiero que le pase lo que pasó conmigo. Y usted pierde el cielo y que la conseguí. Le gusta mucho que le lleven serenata, que la despierten con un beso en las mañanas, que le regalen hoy que la conseguí. Le gusta mucho que le lleven serenata, que la despierten con un beso en las mañanas, que le regalen una hermosa rosa roja. Y ese detalle es el que más la vuelve loca. Mas nunca dude de su amor que es de esperarse. Ella es más fiel de lo que puede imaginarse. Que nunca cruce por su mente traicionarla. Eso, mi amigo, eso la mata. Ahí me metí en el ambiente, el ambiente, el ambiente.
Métanse en el ambiente. Corridos de hoy. Un takeover exclusivo con.
Un saludo, plebes, les habla su compa Ortiz.
Les habla Codiciado, les habla Edgardo Núñez.
Y para los mejores corridos, métanse en el ambiente. Corridos de hoy.
Presiona la pantalla para escuchar el takeover.
Solo en Pandora. ¡Ay, no más!
Me perdí en algún extraño punto entre tus lindas caderas, tu manera y tus caricias, y esa forma tan gentil con la que me haces feliz. Te pedí que si querías ser mi novia, me arrebataste un beso, un momento tan bonito. No supe qué decir, yo te pertenezco a ti. Te regalo un pedacito de cielo, de mis labios un te quiero, de mis manos las caricias que te van a hacer sentir lo que yo siento por ti. Te regalo mi esencia y todo mi mundo, y aunque les parezca absurdo, nunca había encontrado a nadie que se te asemeje a ti. Tienes 10 en tu perfil. Te regalo del corazón su latir. Te regalo un pedacito de cielo, de mis labios un te quiero, de mis manos las caricias que te van a hacer sentir lo que yo siento por ti. Te regalo mi esencia y todo mi mundo, y aunque les parezca absurdo,